With 2025 right around the corner, I want to highlight what I think are 7 of the best credit cards currently on the market to add value to your wallet immediately. Now, this list is in no particular order, and of course is my opinion and my opinion alone, so if you agree or disagree with some of my takes, be sure to comment down below. But getting right into card number 1 on our list today, this is the US Bank Shopper Cash Rewards Visa Signature Credit Card. Now, this is a great card if your goal is to have a lot of flexibility with your spending without sacrificing the amount of cash back that you can earn. And a little bit about the card, there's going to be no annual fee for the first year, then each year after you'll have to pay a $95 annual fee. But what's really special is you can earn 6% cash back at 2 select retailers each quarter, and this perk alone is probably the biggest reason that this card did make the list today. Up here on the screen is a list of the potential retailers that you can choose from each quarter. Some that really stick out to me are Target, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, and Home Depot. And I love the flexibility for you to be able to plan out in advance where you're going to be spending a lot. If I personally had this card, I know that Amazon would 100% be a staple for me for that 6% back every single quarter, and then I'd look ahead and see where I'd be spending the most to select my other retailer. Additionally, this card can also earn you 5.5% on all of your hotel and car reservations when you go through US Bank. You'll be able to get 3% cash back in an everyday category of choice, which you could pick maybe gas, wholesale clubs, or EV charging. And when you're not earning any elevated cash back, you'll fall back onto 1.5% everywhere else you spend. So the combination of the high amounts of cash back you can earn paired with the flexibility to pick and choose where you'll be earning definitely landed this card a spot on today's list. Moving on to credit card number 2 for the list today, this is going to be the Hilton Honors American Express Surpass credit card. And depending on if you're set up with a specific hotel chain or not, this card may or may not be for you, but stick with me here as the value in this card is incredible. So this Hilton card is going to have a $150 annual fee attached to it. With the card, you're automatically going to get Hilton Honors Gold status and receive a $200 credit each year to use with Hilton. You'll also get a free night with this card if you spend $15,000 in a calendar year with it. There's going to be a complimentary National Car Rental Emerald Club executive status, and if you are using this as your primary card and spend $40,000 with it in a year, you'll right away receive Hilton Honors Diamond status. And our last note before spending categories, there's of course no foreign transaction fees on this card. And for those spending categories, you can earn 12 times points on all of your hotels and resorts purchases when you do go through Hilton. You're going to be able to earn 6 times points back on your gas, groceries, and dining, 4 times points back on your online US retail purchases, and 3 times points back everywhere else you spend. And I love that these spending categories cover virtually everywhere you have to spend at an elevated rate. One note though is that you will be earning this in the form of Hilton Honors points and not American Express points. Even with that slight adjustment, there's still a ton of value to be had with this card that we saw right away with that $200 credit and then those executive status and gold statuses you can get as well. So if you're already established with Hilton and don't have one of their cards, I think it's a no-brainer to look at these and highly consider them to be one of your next cards to get. And if you're not established with a hotel brand or you have another one and are considering switching, definitely be sure to check out this Hilton card. Now moving on to our third card on the list today, this is going to be the Citi Custom Cash. And I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with the Custom Cash, but for those that are not, I think that this might be the best flex card on the entire market. The key points on this card include that there's going to be no annual fee, but you're also going to have the opportunity to earn 5% cash back on your highest eligible spend category every single month, and then 1% back everywhere else you spend. On top of that, currently the card will offer you an additional 4% back on all of your hotels, rental cars, and attraction purchases through the Citi travel portal, and I believe this runs through mid-2026. But if I carry this card, the way I'd use it is to designate it for a select category every single month, depending on where I know I'm going to be spending a lot and want to earn the most cash back. Let's say that if I look at my other cards, I don't get a lot back on my gas, the Citi Custom Cash would automatically become my gas only card. That way I guarantee myself 5% back there, and while the card does have the potential to give you a lot of cash back, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a standalone card. If you pair it up with say the Citi Trifecta or cards from other ecosystems, you can use it as a flex card to make sure that you're getting 5% at a select category, but putting all of your purchases on this I do think would limit the amount of cash back you could earn. Regardless of that, if you're looking to pick a place to earn 5% back every single month, the Citi Custom Cash is the option to choose. Moving on to our fourth card on the list today, this is going to be the Bilt Mastercard. The sole reason this card made the list is because it does what no other card on the market can do, and that's earn you points back on your rent with no extra transaction fees. Most other cards out there will charge you a minimum of a 3% extra extra transaction fee. So if you're paying $1,000 or more for rent each month, that's quickly going to add up to a couple $100s each year. But that's not the case with Bilt. The Bilt card is going to act like a debit card when you pay your rent, basically taking money straight out of your account, avoiding that transaction fee entirely. On top of that, when you pay your rent, you're not going to have to worry about having so much of your credit line being used thanks to the Bilt Protect feature. And I didn't mention, this card has no annual fee to it. You can also earn 3 times points back on your dining, 2 times points back on all of your travel purchases, and 1 times points everywhere else and on your rent. On top of that, on the first of every month, there's a special rent day celebration where every single category doubles except for your rent. And the reason I bring this up is because I think it makes the card a great option to plan ahead for travel and book on the first of the month to lock up 4 times points back. Also, this no annual fee card will give you 13 airline partners and 5 hotel partners, which is pretty uncommon for no fee cards to give you partners. On top of that, every point that you do earn with Bilt is valued at around 2 cents per point, ranking it at the top with American Express and Chase compared to other credit card issuers. Being a card that I do personally carry, I do have to admit there are drawbacks to the card. Big one is that the spending categories are very limited. On top of that, you do have to spend 5 times each month with the card to get your cash back, and that's really not a big deal, but it's kind of annoying and you have to remember to do that if it isn't your primary card. Aside from that though, the Bilt card is fantastic, and just being able to pay for your rent and earn points back over the course of years, that adds up very quickly to allow you to take a free trip or use it for other things. But now jumping to our 5th card on the list today, this is going to be the American Express Blue Cash Preferred. And I think that this card is incredible for earning high amounts of cash back at some of the most common spending categories in 2025. And some key points about this card: for the first year you hold it, there's going to be no annual fee, but each year after you're going to have to pay a $95 annual fee. Right away, we're going to see an $84 Disney bundle credit, which is going to be broken up into $7 monthly statement credits. But the big reason I like this card, you can earn 6% cash back on your groceries, 6% back on select streaming, and then 3% back on your gas and transit purchases. Groceries are incredibly expensive right now, and going into 2025, I do expect them to stay the same or go up even more. And as someone that lives alone, I can't even begin to imagine how much some larger families out there are having to pay each month to put food on the table. That said, there's an opportunity to earn 6% back on your groceries up to the first $6,000 you spend each year. Let's say there's a family of 6. I have no doubt in my mind that they will spend $6,000 on groceries by the end of the year. This would allow them though to earn back $360 of cash back. And that's only on your groceries and doesn't even touch our other categories. Most people are paying for streaming services. Everyone's pretty much paying for gas. So this card's going to cover you at the biggest expenses for a lot of people out there, earning you a ton of cash back in the process. Needless to say, there's a ton of value with the Blue Cash Preferred, and I think a lot of people looking for just cash back heading into the new year highly need to consider this. Jumping to our 6th card on the list today, this is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And this is another card that I do carry myself, and I do personally believe that it's one of the best mid-tier travel cards going into 2025. With the $95 annual fee, the card's going to offer you $200 of value every single year, which is going to include a $50 annual hotel statement credit. You can also get a complimentary DoorDash Dash Pass subscription with the card. You can also get $10 off a month at non-restaurant DoorDash orders, and 5 times points back on all of your Peloton and Lyft purchases. For the spending categories, we can get 5 times points back on all of our travel through Chase and 2 times points on all of our travel outside of Chase. We'll be able to get 3 times points back on our online grocery orders, 3 times points back on some select streaming services, 3 times points back on our dining, and then 1 times points everywhere else we spend. But the biggest reason I like this card, and it earned a spot on today's list, is the additional 25% value onto every point you earn when you do redeem for travel in the Chase portal. Say you have 100,000 points in Chase, valued at around $1,000. If you were to go redeem this for travel in their portal, you get that 25% for an additional $250. So for those of you with the Chase trifecta, or those that have been able to take advantage of sign-up bonuses with Chase to earn a lot of points, getting this card even for 1 year just to maximize that value with that 25% is pretty significant. And one of the last perks that I think really rounds out this card, you're also going to get 14 transfer partners with Chase, which includes 11 airline partners and 3 hotel partners. And the value of each point is around 2 cents per point when you do redeem it for travel, which right up there with Bilt and Amex is at the top of the market. And as I just alluded to, if you do partner this card up with the Freedom Unlimited and Freedom Flex, it makes it very affordable and beginner-friendly trifecta to maximize your cash back. This is actually the trifecta that I currently use as my primary setup. Hands down, I think there's a ton of value to be had here. A lot of people might think there's other better mid-tier cards. It's very dependent on what you're looking for, but for me, the Sapphire Preferred has been incredible. But now moving on to our 7th and final card for our list today, this is going to be the American Express Platinum. Out of all the premium travel cards on the market, I still think going into 2025, the Platinum steals the crown and is still the king. Now, there is a hefty annual fee of $695 on this card. However, we're going to see over $1,500 worth of credit and value right away with the card. This is going to come in the form of a $200 hotel credit, $240 digital entertainment credit, $155 Walmart Plus credit, $200 of Uber Cash, and a $200 airline credit. There's going to be $100 for Saks Fifth Avenue, $199 for a Clear Plus membership. And you're also going to have access to American Express and partner lounges all across the world at different airports, which is valued at around $500. Needless to say, the credits here are what really makes this card special. I do think that these spending categories are really underwhelming, especially for what you have to pay. You're only going to get 5 times points on your flights and hotels purchased through Amex and 1 times points elsewhere. And while I do think this is underwhelming for having to pay that much money for this card, you are basically saying I'm going to give you $695 and you guys are going to give me double the value across so many different things each year. I personally would like if they toned back some of the credits, like that digital entertainment and Walmart one, either made them more focused on travel or offered a little bit more in terms of the spending categories. But regardless of that, there's a ton of value to be had with the Platinum card, and there's a reason that a lot of people love this card, and it's one of the most distinguished on the entire market. And that's going to be a wrap for the list today of what I think are 7 of the best cards heading into 2025. If you're interested in a list for the 7 best no annual fee credit cards, I'm going to have that linked up above and down below. And if you guys could also take a second, comment down below what cards you think people should consider getting in 2025 that I did or did not mention. On top of that, go hit like and consider subscribing. It really helps grow the channel and I greatly appreciate it. But be sure to check out that no fee card video right here. Go to the description for some more linked videos for more details on each of the cards mentioned today. Greatly appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you in the next video.